Duty, honor, country dictate what you ought to be, what you can be, what you will be.
The destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn we're spirits, not animals.
Now, we are the masters of our fate.
Howdy, gents. Welcome back to the very first episode of 2018 of the Wolf and Iron podcast. I'm your host, Mike Yarbrough, founder and curator of wolfandiron.com, and I'm glad you're here. Now, if you're like me, you've been looking at 2017, and in doing some reflection, one of the things that you've noticed is that the year threw you some curveballs. There are some things that came about that you didn't expect, maybe some good things, maybe some bad things, and it should be very apparent to you, as it is to me, that there are a lot of things that we just don't control. There are a lot of directions that our life is going to take that we just don't have control over. And that can be discouraging, especially as we get into the new year and we want to start setting goals and we want to think about the kind of man we want to be and the changes we want to make in our life. Maybe you're talking about making changes in your health, like a lot of people are doing this time of year. Maybe it's changes with their family. Maybe it's just changes all around, business, who knows? And we can look back at the previous year and say, man, there were a lot of things that I didn't plan for that happened. And really, how much control do I really have over life anyhow? And of course, when we say it out loud like that, we can see very quickly that that's a defeatist attitude and it's certainly not a manly way of approaching things. And so I want to spend this episode talking about the things that you do have control over. And I want to talk about the things that if you don't get under control, they're absolutely going to wreck your year. They're going to wreck your 2018, and you're going to look at the mirror at 2019 and you're going to go, I have nobody else to blame but myself. But before we jump into that, I want to talk about some things that Wolf and Iron has coming up for the new year and things that we started last year that you may not have heard about. The first thing is our Wolf and Iron community. It's our Facebook group. We started this a few months back and it's been growing really well. Some of the conversations are really great over there. And I'll tell you one of the ways that we're kind of keeping things above board or at a higher quality level than you're going to find in some other groups. And that is we have some questions for you to ask when you join. And if you don't answer these questions, or if you don't answer them to our satisfaction, that means myself and my moderators, you don't get in. And so this group is really for guys that are serious about growing and that really have the right kind of mindset to be having discussions online about their lives, about anything from finances to marriage stuff to personal problems, whatever it is. And there's just a great group of guys over there. It's about 1,200 guys right now. So you definitely want to join this thing, be a part of this, and you can do that by going to wolfandiron.com/the group. That'll take you over to the Facebook page where you can sign up and answer the questions. You guys should be prompted with some questions. Make sure you answer those. If you don't see those, just message me and we'll take care of it. The other thing is our Wolf and Iron store. This thing has been so cool to put together and to see you guys going over there and buying stuff and to ship some things out. I've got my book over there, The Guy's Guide to Pocket Knives. We've got some t-shirts. We've also just got a sticker pack that we released. So stickers to slap on anything and everything. It's a great way to support Wolf and Iron. And if you use the code FEEDTHEWOLF, you'll save 10% off of your order. You can get to the store by going to store.wolfandiron.com, and that'll take you right to it. The last thing isn't really a Wolf and Iron announcement, but I wanted to let you guys know about it anyhow, just in case you haven't heard. But it's actually about the Order of Man meetup that's going to be happening in January, at the end of January, so January 26th and 27th, I believe. And you can find out more about this event by going to orderofman.com/Nashville. And the reason I'm letting you guys know about it, not only to support Ryan and the great work that he's doing with Order of Man, but also because I'm going to be there. And I'm going to be hanging out with the guys there, getting to know each other and just digging into whatever Ryan's got planned for that weekend. Ryan's also got a copy of his book, I think, for the attendees there. So his book's going to be released. And look, guys, I think this is a great way to kick off the new year. Meet with some guys, get to know some solid men who are willing to invest time and money into bettering themselves. And I don't think you can go wrong here. I know space is limited, so head over to orderofman.com/Nashville if you're interested in going. But also be on the lookout. I'm going to put an event out because I'm going to be flying in on the 25th. I'll be getting there about noon or so. And I figured I would just try to meet with a couple of guys. If you're in the area, I don't have anything else to do. So let's get together, grab some drinks, grab some grub, and just get to know each other. So be on the lookout on Wolf and Iron for an event. We'll probably post it on our Facebook page, and we'll just do a little get together. Okay, now let's get into what this episode is really about. There are three things that I'm going to name that are going to just absolutely wreck your year if you don't get a control over these things. And they're absolutely within your ability to control them. The first one is going to be your victim mentality, your defeatist mindset. And I want to tell you guys just how subtle this is. You can really hear this come out a lot of times in how we speak. So for example, if I say something along the lines of, when such and such happens, that really makes me angry. Or even if I put I in front of it, I get so ticked off when people do this or that. Okay? Sometimes we think if we put the I in front of it, that we kind of own it. We're not really owning it. The issue here is that we're actually creating a strong correlation between events and our reaction to those events. So by saying, I feel this way when such and such happens, it's almost like as if these things are bound together. When something happens, when failure happens, when I get sick unexpectedly, right when I was doing really, really good on my New Year's resolution of, let's say, losing weight or hitting the gym, or I fracture my ankle, then we have this correlation that we're going to feel and react a certain way to it. And setbacks don't have to work like that. But outside circumstances do not dictate the way you respond to them. Events in your life do not dictate how it is that you're going to respond to those events. If you really want to be honest about this and really take responsibility for your behavior and your reaction to events, then our language will look more like this. When such and such happens, then I allow it to make me feel a certain way. I allow it to make me angry. And so I want to talk just for a second about having a really stoic kind of mindset about the things that happen in life and our response to them, because 2017 brought all kinds of things that you didn't expect. And you can actually use that as a really good example to say, how did you respond to those things when they happened? So the first step is that you've got to take responsibility. You have to understand that there really is a disconnect between the things that happened and your response. And anytime that you respond to an event, it really is up to you. You're either allowing some automatic kind of feelings to take place, or you're really being cautious. And the first thing in this is that you've got to take responsibility. You've got to own your reaction to the things that happen in life. And once you're willing to do that, then you can take the next step, which is to be a bit objective, both to the judgment of the events as they occurred and also to your reaction. This means not taking things personally when they may not be intended personally, or even choosing to take things that are intended personally as attacks against you as not personally. You can actually make that choice. Now, I'll give you guys an example here. Now, of course, this doesn't mean not having any emotions or just being some kind of robotic man. That's not what Stoicism is, and it's certainly not healthy. Okay, this is not Buddhism where it's a detachment from things, from wants and desires and so on. This is having an objective view over the circumstances and choosing what kind of response you're going to have based on what you think is best. So if something tragic happens, you cry. If a setback happens, you reevaluate and move forward. You don't allow the things to dictate your response. If this is something that you guys struggle with, I would recommend the book The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. And it's cool because it rhymes, but also it's just a really good book. It goes through Stoicism in very kind of practical ways, and it's just sort of bite-sized pieces of advice to get you on the right track, to get your mindset right, and just delves into this so much deeper than I can do. I'd love to have Ryan on the podcast, actually, hope to get him on here this year. The second thing that's going to wreck your year, and this is actually a very likely thing to happen in 2018 just because of where we are as a society, and that is distractions. All of the distractions. I want you to look back on 2017, and I want you to say, how much time did you spend just on crap that really didn't matter? How much time did you spend just being distracted by what was happening on social media, what Trump tweeted, political crap, what the next latest movie was, how much it didn't meet your expectations, or even distracted by the fear of things that never came true? Just think about that. Really take some time to think through this, because I want you to understand that so much of our life is taken away these days just by simply being distracted. And these goals that you have in front of you, maybe you want to write a book, maybe you want to start a business, maybe you want to read through so many books in a year. You've got to give up some other thing to make time for these things. And I'll tell you, a lot of time in our day is just spent just being distracted. And I'll tell you, it sucks to look back on a year or 10 years of your life and say, what was I doing for the last 10 years of my life that I didn't progress farther along in whatever the goals I have for myself are? So here's a good way to get out of distractions. One, start paring down. All those people that you follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Actually, you can just dump Twitter. There's not a lot of good stuff happening on Twitter, okay? Pare down your social media world and, unfollow a bunch of people. Just get it down to just the specific friends. I see people trying to just quit Facebook all the time. I understand you want to take a Facebook sabbatical or whatever. I get it. But, the chances that you're going to be totally social media free for the rest of your life is not very likely. I would say try to figure out how to get it pared down so that it's manageable and it fits within the way you want to use it, not just sprawling out and you know everything about everybody. That's just not healthy. And the other thing is to plan out your week. See what your week practically looks like. How much time do you spend at work? How much time do you spend with your kids? When do you eat? Sit down and just plan out your week and see how much time you have available to do whatever these goals are that you have in mind. Most of you are going to look at your week and go, man, I got a lot of hours in the morning if I get up early, and I've got a good bit of hours on the weekend and a couple of hours at night. And the only thing that's keeping you from those goals is all the other stuff that just kind of fills in those gaps. Those are your distractions. You got to get rid of them. The other thing that will wreck your year is not having a clear vision about what it is that you actually want to achieve. Now, I'm not into this whole thing about, if you dream it, it'll come true. But I do believe in making a vision as clear for yourself as possible so that you know what are the things that align with that vision that get you on the right path for that, and what are the things that are just distractions, as we talked about before. But if you don't have a clear vision, then you're not going to know what the difference between a distraction and something actually useful and productive. Whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, you want to drop 50 pounds this year, you want to start lifting 50 pounds more, whatever it is, get that as clear in your mind as you can, and you'll begin to see all the things that need to happen to get you to that point. And then just work the plan. Work the plan. The cool thing about this is that it can be done on a sheet of paper. You can just take one sheet of paper and say, here's my goal for this thing that I want to do, and just start writing down all the aspects of it that you have when it's accomplished, right? So we'll use weight loss as an example because a lot of guys are, everybody in America pretty much is trying to lose weight at this point of the year. So determine what that looks like. What can you do when you're 50 pounds lighter? What kind of clothes can you have that you don't have now when you're 50 pounds lighter? How much farther can you run? How many more pull-ups can you do? How many more push-ups can you do? How much more, do you guys get what I'm saying? If you want to start a business, think about what are the qualities that business is going to have over this next year. Are you going to have employees? What's the location going to look like? How much money do you want to make? What does the packaging look like? And then extrapolate that into a plan and break that down. And just a little hint here, don't try to accomplish the big end goal vision all at once. You definitely want to be iterative. So even if this is weight loss, if you're starting a business, it doesn't matter what it is, break that down into small bite-sized pieces that you can work on a bit at a time. Actually, if you're losing weight, you probably shouldn't break it down into bite-sized pieces. That's not a good idea. Bad analogy. But I think you guys understand what I'm saying. Small incremental steps over a long period of time is going to achieve the greatest results, and it's going to get you where you really want to be, rather than trying to make it all perfect and getting it all accomplished all at once. All right, fellas, I like to keep these man-to-man episodes short and sweet, so there's a little bit of New Year's advice for you. If you're in our Facebook group, the Wolf and Iron Community, and you can get there by going to wolfandiron.com/the group. If you're in our group, we've got a fitness challenge going on for the month of January, and some guys have jumped in late. That's totally fine. We're doing 100 push-ups and 100 squats every darn day in January. And as I record this, we're on day 11, and everybody's, for the most part, most of the guys are over the soreness at this point, and it's just awesome to see how well your body responds to just, putting it under stress. I know a lot of guys started, this is just 11 days ago, a lot of guys started, they could barely do a push-up. Some of these guys probably could, maybe do 5 push-ups and that was it. And now they're just cranking them out. So if you want to be a part of a group that's, bettering themselves, and I know you do, if you like these kinds of challenges, if you need some motivation with some other guys, head over there, join up. And when you're over there, let us know about any New Year's resolutions you have, any kind of goals you have this year, and let us know how we can help. Until next time, keep your powder dry, and may a fair wind be always in your sails.